apartments and just different things that we want to give away. Yeah. We're just going to record and see what happens because I have been trying to record this video for a while. Okay, so welcome back to my channel. My name is Onye, and today I'd love to talk about the topic of seeing the glass full versus half empty. Now, when I was sitting down to write this script, I had so many ideas, so many thoughts, and then I went to go and record. And exactly in the time I decided to record, the construction next door started at the same time. Now, for those of you that don't know, I am currently in Costa Rica, and this area of Costa Rica is developing, and it's developing very, very quickly. With that comes a lot of construction, a lot of man-made noise. An area where we are surrounded by nature, you would think that it's a very peaceful environment. But in addition to the peace and the birds and all of the nature sounds, we are interrupted by man-made noise. And so as I sat to hit the record button, the noise came and frustration made its way towards me. So I waited for a minute, went to go do other things, and then sat back down again to hit the record button. And then right at that moment, the construction started again. And the frustration filled my body even more. I experienced frustration. In that moment, my partner, he was working on the computer. He stopped me, reminded me to breathe, and asked if there was any other thing that I could do in this moment instead of recording. And so I ran through the list of things that I had intended to do, and at this point, it was lunchtime. And so I made lunch. Now we have finished lunch, and I'm sitting here starting the video all over again. Now, in this third attempt, they started construction. This is a second attempt within the third attempt of actually hitting the record button. So I'm saying all this to say, seeing the glass full versus the glass empty. Now, in my first few attempts, I was in a different location, and then decided to move to this current location that I'm in now. And I love it. I love the lighting. I love how it's set up. And I think this is going to be my new recording space. So I'm saying all of this to say, I am looking at this entire situation from the lens of the glass being full. Because now I have found a new location that has the essence of what I like these videos to evoke at this very moment in time. All right, so looking at the glass half full versus half empty. When you see a glass and there's water in it, some people will focus on, wow, my glass is half full. I can quench my thirst with this amount of water. Another person can look at that glass and say, wow, the glass isn't full, isn't to the brim. I'm lacking in this amount of water, like as if to say the water that's there is not enough, whatever it is, but they're focusing on something that isn't there, a lack of something. So I have been reading this book called The Millionaire Course by Marc Allen. So when I saw this book, just even the title I had a little resistance to the title, and then I asked myself why, if I'm on this journey of financial freedom, in a way that is aligned with my joy, my peace, my creativity, my talents, my skills, my gifts. If all of that is what I'm looking to do, why did this book give me resistance? And that was the first key to letting me know where I am when it comes to money, my relationship with money. In honor of self-reflection, of noticing and checking yourself, I'm like, I'm gonna read this book. One of the chapters is called Avoid Management by Crisis. So this book goes through way more than I was expecting, especially mindfulness and really tapping into your subconscious, business management, building a business, relationships, and how it's important to have a partnership with everyone, not even just in your business, with everyone in your life. There's so much in this book. But specifically, one of the parts of this paragraph was about looking at the half full side of the glass. As I was reading this, there are so many ideas, so many thoughts that came up, and I wanted to share with you. So if you are having challenges, and you may not even realize this, I would like to invite you to take on the idea of looking at the full side of the glass. So whenever we have a problem, acknowledge it. It's definitely important to acknowledge that there is a challenge in front of us, or a problem, or a crisis, whatever it is. Right now, my problem is the construction. So I'm acknowledging it and finding ways to move forward, seeing the glass half full. So it's important to acknowledge a challenge, to acknowledge the difficulties, the obstacles. But in the acknowledgement, we have the problem, we have the challenge, we have the obstacle, we acknowledge it. Many people start to ask the wrong questions. They start to ask, why is this problem happening to me? What am I doing wrong? All of the wrong questions, and I'm using the words right or wrong. It can be what's aligned with problem solving or what's going to keep you stuck. Either way, spending time asking yourself the wrong questions, and we start to focus on the challenges, we start to focus on the problem, we start to focus all of our gifts, talents, abilities, brain power on the obstacle rather than asking the right questions. Now, in the Bible, seek and ye shall find. Seek and ye shall find. And there's many other texts, spiritual texts that have these words in different forms. Seek and ye shall find. Literally, whatever you seek, whatever you put your attention towards, whatever you ask for, you will find it. You will find it. Just like in relationships, when they're like, oh, if you're going through the phones, you're looking for this, you're trying to figure out if your partner is cheating on you, more than likely you will find that, because that is what you're looking for. Seek and ye shall find. So I invite you to start asking questions that will bring on solutions. What are the opportunities here? What are the benefits? What are the gifts? What are the gifts that I'm being provided in this situation now? What are the possibilities? So in the book, he suggests writing what-if questions when you are faced with an obstacle or a challenge. What-if questions specifically to what ways can this situation be fixed? What ways can this be resolved? And then tacking into that question in healthy, positive, and easeful ways. What ways can this challenge, this obstacle be resolved? So you're asking questions that are specific to pulling solutions from wherever, right? Our mind is creative. And so if we're asking questions like, why is this happening? Where did this problem come from? That are focused on the problem, then you're going to be creating more surrounding that obstacle. And just by making a list, a what-if list of what if this amazing thing happened? What if it was resolved in this way? What if it was this possibility? And now you're steering clear from focusing on the obstacle, the problem. You already know what the problem is. There's no need to seek it out. It's there. It already exists. What you don't know is a solution. And so how can you get to the solution if you're focused on the problem? Now, many people would say, if I knew the solution, then I wouldn't have the problem. But that's exactly that. This is the in-between stage. If you knew the solution, you would be fixing the problem. So now, in order to get to the solution, you have to ask yourself the right questions. What if? What if this were to happen? And start to be creative on solutions. And as you're writing these lists, a solution may or may not come up in that immediate moment. It may come up later, but you're already generating this idea, this frequency, this direction towards finding a solution versus focusing on the problem. And the solution may actually not come from you directly, from your knowledge, from the information that you have in this moment in time. It may come through a person, a friend, a coworker, some random person you meet, because you're in the space of receiving the information, receiving the wisdom, receiving the answers, and not focusing on the obstacle. So I'm going to read a quote that stood out to me in this section. We create the life of our dreams as soon as our picture of it becomes more dominant in our thoughts and subconscious than our picture of how difficult it is to achieve it. So we create the life of our dreams the more our thoughts are dominated by that picture versus how challenging, how difficult, how overwhelming it may seem to get to that dream. When that is the main theme, the thoughts that are dominating your consciousness and your subconsciousness, your entire being, when you have those thoughts as the majority and the challenges, the fears, the doubts as the minority, that's when you'll be creating the life of your dreams. And it's a practice, it's an everyday practice, because we are inundated, literally constantly being thrown at with all of the fears, all of the doubts being reflected at us. And so it's important to be mindful. It's important to have mindfulness practices to get you back to your center, to get you back to your point of focus, to get you back to the solutions, the what ifs, the possibilities, the dreams, to get you back into that space, because no matter what, we are human. We're going to experience fear, we're going to experience doubt, we're going to experience all of these human-like feelings, but we do it anyways. At some point in the process, our dreams become clear goals. And then our goals become intentions. Once we have a solid, unwavering intention, success is inevitable. Because at the end of the day, I've said this in another video, we are already what it is that you desire to be. We're just now on a journey of literally unpacking, dismantling, remembering all of that in its purest form. And so seek joy and ye shall find. So I hope this video resonated with you in some type of way. If it did, please let me know down in the comment section to let me know that these videos are actually beneficial or actually supporting those that watch it. Till next time, peace.